Good evening. You have just heard from the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus. I am Dr. Paul Hengesteg, and I have the great pleasure and honor of being the board president for this amazing organization. Part of the reason why we're here this evening is one of the honorees is a member of our organization and is receiving the Emerging Leader Award this evening. Part of the reason he was nominated for this award is because of the work that he has done with the ensemble you're about to hear. You're about to hear from TRANScendent. TRANScendent is a small ensemble of the DMGMC that is comprised entirely of and for transgender and non-binary voices. TRANScendent is one of less than a dozen ensembles like it in the country, right here in Des Moines. And as often the case in moments like this, not every member of the chorus is able to join for a performance this evening, and not every member of TRANScendent is able to be here this evening. But all of us at the DMGMC wanted to be here to congratulate Tristan on his award. So Tristan, congratulations. TRANScendent, take it away.
Didn't they sound great? They sounded great. Last night, the chorus, we had our first rehearsal for the new season, and I will tell you, it was sort of like the first day of school, except that all of your classmates are really fun and hardcore fans of Chapel Roan, so it was great. My name is Michael Moraine. I'm the editor of DSM Magazine, and it is my pleasure, really my pleasure, to welcome you to tonight's DSM LGBTQ Legacy Leader Award ceremony. Thank you for coming. It's great to see you all. We have been honoring legacy leaders for 7 years now, which means at this point, that's a total of 44 profiles in courage. 44 examples of what leadership looks like in this community. And 44 ways we have magnified the simple power of visibility. Over those 7 years, we've seen progress and setbacks, ups and downs, but one thing has remained constant: our steadfast commitment to this community. At DSM, we believe in the power of stories to share truth and amplify voices, sometimes literally. We have the platform and the responsibility to do more, to not just report on our LGBTQ neighbors, but to celebrate them, to honor the trailblazers and advocates and everyday heroes who work to make Iowa a place where everyone belongs. In just a moment, we'll hear from my colleague, Chris Koneski, the president and publisher of Business Publications Corporation, who has made it clear our company will not back down from our mission, even when political winds are blowing in opposite directions. So thank all of you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for standing with us. And thank you for helping us shine a spotlight on these remarkable leaders. Here's Chris.
Thank you, Michael. We're so fortunate to have somebody like Michael on our team. So he's not going to get a lot of applause tonight, but let's give him one big round of applause. Having Michael leading the coverage for DSM Magazine is an absolute blessing for us, and it shows back in the products that he and his team are creating each and every day, so we're so grateful for him. Like Michael had mentioned, supporting the LGBT community and other marginalized communities is very important to Business Publications Corporation. It's events like these, this is our best way to show up and be here for the community. It's our best way to use our platform to make sure we're raising up the stories in this community. And it takes the sponsors that we have here that are helping support that are standing strong with us during this time too. We're super grateful for that, because being able to put on events like this, we can't do that alone. And so we've got some great partners here tonight that are helping do that. And so our first thank you tonight is to our presenting sponsor, Capital City Pride. Their work goes beyond organizing and hosting events. They also cultivate connections, foster education, create spaces for joy and affirmation for LGBTQ Iowans year-round. This past June, we had a booth at Pride Fest, and my family and I, we went and enjoyed Pride Fest, and we stopped by the booth, and it was right there in the heart of it all, and it made it really clear that Capital City Pride's leadership is essential to helping shape a more vibrant and welcoming Des Moines. You can actually see how much fun our team had at the event, and seeing all the pictures from that. It was a great opportunity to bring my family there as well. And their vision and commitment made a real and lasting impact, not only on me, but I'm sure countless others in the community as well. So with that said, please join me in welcoming to the stage Executive Director of Capital City Pride, Wes Moines.
Well, good evening, all of you troublemakers. Capital City Pride is honored to once again serve as the presenting sponsor of the LGBTQ Legacy Leader Awards. To every honoree in this room tonight, I want to extend, first of all, to you my deepest congratulations and my profound gratitude for all that you bring to our community. When we celebrate our legacy leaders, we are not simply recognizing their achievements. We are honoring their lives of courage and of service and vision, lives that have changed the course of our community. I want to be clear that a legacy is not the same thing as a resume. We are not defined by the titles that we have held or the jobs that we have performed. We celebrate the relentless belief that relationships are key. If this were simply about tasks completed, then these would be called the Good Job Awards. But these are not the Good Job Awards. Tonight is different. Tonight we celebrate the greater purpose, that lives that are lived with purpose. We celebrate the choice to turn our values into actions. We celebrate the relationships, our bonds with one another that are what truly transform the world. Because in the end, it is only through relationships that our impact endures. Each of you has nurtured connections, all of our awardees tonight. Each of you have nurtured connections. You've listened and supported and stood up and spoken out, each in your own way. Together with your friends and your neighbors and allies, you have reimagined what is possible in Iowa. Yeah, that's worth cheering, clapping for. You have built places and spaces that can not only survive, but allow LGBTQ people to thrive. And that is why we honor all of your work tonight. And I just said that. This year we have witnessed so-called leaders at our state and federal level turn their backs on true leadership. In Iowa, we became the first state in the nation to strip away the civil rights from a protected class of citizens, an act that will forever be remembered as a moral failure. But in sharp contrast to that, our awardees tonight, our legacy leaders, have done what real leaders do. You have stood like lighthouses in the midst of a time of storm. You have been beacons of safe harbor in a world that often feels hostile and uncertain. And through your courage, you have reminded us all that love is stronger than fear, that justice is more enduring than prejudice. At Capital City Pride, our mission is really simple. We exist to build and strengthen the LGBT community. But in truth, when our community is stronger, everyone's community is stronger. Yeah? And so that's why we celebrate and are so proud of our awardees tonight. Your legacies remind us that leadership is not about power, but about service. It's not about what we take, but it's about what we give. It's not about what we do for ourselves, but it's about what we create for those who will follow us. And so tonight, let's celebrate not only what our awardees have done, but the example that they set for all the rest of us in this room who are not yet among the list of 44 honorees. May our lives be inspired as each of us ask ourselves, what legacy will I leave? And how will I strengthen the world for those that I know and love? Congratulations to all of our awardees, and thank you for showing us that even in the hardest of times, hope still has leaders, and those leaders are each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wes and Capital City Pride, for your vision and dedication to our community. Next, we're proud to recognize our supporting sponsor, Kraus Group. Kraus Group is focused on creating opportunities to do good. They're committed to creating a culture that actively fosters inclusion. So with that, please welcome Heather Schott, Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Kraus Group. Heather?
Well, Wes is a hard guy to follow. I'll do my best. So good evening. I'm Heather Schott, and I'm proud to stand in front of you carrying the title of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, the director of that, still holding strong today. Kraus Group is a parent company dedicated to doing good with a purpose-driven approach that values diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability publicly and unapologetically. Our founder and CEO, Kyle J. Kraus, challenges us to build long-term value through socially responsible actions across our family of brands in soccer, wine, and real estate. It's a pretty great gig, so if you're interested, check out our website at krausgroup.com. We'd love to have you. And thank you for letting us be part of this special night. I want to pause and I want to recognize the ongoing struggle that LGBTQ Iowans are facing. It wasn't always this way. Choosing to remain in Iowa, whether as an ally or a community member, requires strength and skills we haven't had to call on for some time. Tonight's honorees across industries are exactly the kind of leadership that Iowa needs. They show us how inclusion is built through patience, persistence, relationships, authenticity, creativity, and yes, even sometimes uncomfortable conversations. Those of you that know me know that's my favorite. All right. You are lighting the way for us, and I challenge all of us listening tonight to step up with courage alongside of you. Kayla and Tristan, reading your bios, you give me hope. I'd love to grab coffee and get to know you a little better, right, down the road. Congratulations and thank you. Shannon, Jeremy, and Connie, your nonprofit work has been transformational, and I'm grateful our paths have crossed at some point in time. You are amazing humans. And Jenny, who would have thought 30 years ago, is it really that long ago, on a fast-pitch softball league, right, that we would meet and we would get here today. I can proudly say that our sheroes, Sharon and Donna, would be proud of you. I'm thrilled to see you honored and for your impact that you've had on us. I appreciate you. Each of you continues to show up even when it's hard. Each of you has your own way of pushing forward. Each of us can learn from each of you. Thank you. It's a real honor tonight that the rest of us get to share this space with you. And for everyone celebrating, don't let this end tonight. Carry these stories into every part of your lives. As last year's honoree, Dan Jansen, shared with us, visibility is education. Don't forget that phrase. LGBTQ Iowans need your voices. They need our actions, and they need our courage every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather, and to everyone at the Kraus Group for your continued support. Finally, thank you to Taro for being another key supporting sponsor. Since 1993, Taro International has earned a distinguished reputation as a premier interpersonal skills research and corporate training company. We're proud to say BPC has worked with Taro. We definitely recommend their services to you and your organizations as well. Please welcome Allison Hyder, the Chief Learning Officer of Taro, who will tell you a little bit more.
Good evening, everyone. I am so grateful to be here representing Tarot International. Thank you to BPC and DSM Magazine for continuing to create this incredibly important space right now. Thank you to our fellow sponsors for helping make this possible. And of course, congratulations to this evening's honorees. You are the heart of tonight. At Tarot, we help people grow into the types of leaders that help others feel seen. We believe leadership isn't reserved for those who have fancy titles. It's defined by impact. It's about showing up with integrity and creating environments where people feel safe to be themselves. Tonight, we're honoring leaders who've done exactly that. They've led with courage, they've made room for others, and they continue to fight for a more inclusive Iowa. As a queer woman myself, this isn't just professional, this is personal. I know what it feels like to walk into a space and wonder if you belong. And I also know how powerful it is for someone to be there and say, you do belong here. Those are the voices that the leaders who we're honoring tonight have. In 23 days and counting, I get to marry the love of my life, my fiance Laurel Feeks, in the back of the room. This is her worst nightmare, so sorry. But throughout the wedding planning process, it's an odd time to be planning a wedding, I know I'm not alone. We have continued to remind ourselves that at a time that we need resistance, joy is a form of resistance. Tonight, that joy feels so deeply connected to what we're honoring in this room. The leadership we're celebrating tonight is not abstract. It is what makes possible for people like us to feel safe and feel seen every single day. So to the honorees, thank you for your courage and your continued voices. You remind us of what leadership can look like when it's rooted in purpose, driven by heart. Congratulations again, and thank you all for being here and continuing to show up for these incredible leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison, and to all of our sponsors today for not only supporting tonight's event, but for your leadership in championing the LGBT cause. I've been saying something at events this year, and it seems to be resonating. I've been asking people, there's so much bad news, and we have to cover some of that. And we're going to talk about it through a lens of looking for solutions to it. And what I've been saying is, go make some good news, right? What was the quote? Visibility is education. When you make good news and you make us have to write about it, you write about the honorees that have done the things that they've done. Those create stories. That creates opportunities for us to publish that. That creates opportunities for other media organizations to do that and bring more visibility to it. So find ways to go make good news, right? All of our honorees are an example of that tonight. I'm excited for you to get to meet some of the great things that they made happen here. Michael's going to help bring them onto stage now. Michael?
Well, after that wedding announcement, we have a lot of good news. Daniel Zinnel is getting married this Saturday, you guys. So we really have so much good news to share. There's so much good news in the magazines on your table, and I can't wait for you to grab the copies and go home. But we have some fun before then. So I will tell you, as the editor of this magazine, it has been a real privilege to get to know some of these stories on a deeper level. I know some of you from around town, but it is really an honor to read your stories and really learn from your examples. So thank you. We're just gonna jump in with good news right from the get-go. So we'll start. We are pleased to honor Tristan Miedema as this year's emerging LGBTQ Legacy Leader. This newish honor recognizes an individual under 40 who is already making a lasting impact in the community. We already heard from Dr. Paul Hengesteg with the chorus, but I want to share a note that he tucked in the nomination packet for Tristan. Here's what Paul wrote. Leadership is more than what a person does. It comes from personality, there's no shortage, a sense of humor, dedication, creativity, love, and a commitment to mission. I cannot think of another person who embodies all of this with more poise and grace than Tristan. Tristan, come on up. There's plenty more, but I want you to see Tristan here. So settle in. Throughout his career, Tristan has used his voice not only in the musical sense, but as a tool for advocacy, education, and transformation. As the founding director of TRANScendent, who we heard from earlier this evening, Tristan has created a space where voices that are too often silenced can be heard and applauded. Students know that in his classroom at Drake, they can show up fully as themselves and they'll receive his full support and encouragement. His mentorship goes far beyond academic study guidance, emotional support, and real-world preparation, helping students thrive in a competitive and often difficult industry. Tristan also supports gender-affirming voice care for trans and non-binary students, a critical and often overlooked area of vocal health and identity affirmation. Through every role he holds, he advances LGBTQ inclusion, equity, and representation, not only in name, but in practice. In some ways, he's still just getting started, but he's already building a lasting legacy. We are very honored to recognize Tristan Miedema as this year's Emerging LGBTQ Legacy Leader.
When I joined the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus, for the first time, I felt the true joy of having my own queer community. Over the last 5 years, the chorus has transformed me into a person I only ever dreamed of becoming. I found my best friends, my greatest mentors, and an ensemble of advocates that lift me up, support me, and make me feel so valued. I look around and see so many faces like these. I almost feel like I'm at a big gay wedding, but it's somehow gayer. I see my incredible family who never second-guessed me when I said I wanted to pursue a career in music. My dad, who drove show choir trailers through blizzards for me and is always in the audience cheering me on show after show. My mom, who will always hold the title of Tristan's #1 fan. Sorry, Kevin Mullins. And who grounds me every time I call, overwhelmed and anxious, reminding me to always trust my gut and where I come from. My brothers, who entertain me endlessly with their banter, their razzing, and they always make me feel like one of the boys, even when I kick their asses on the golf course and in fantasy football. And my partner, Chris, who always has the words I need to hear, helps me trust myself, and who my family has welcomed in like one of their own. I love you all so much. I see my mentors like Liz and Paul, who wrote the kindest words I've ever read about myself in my nomination, who have nurtured my growth as both a leader and an advocate, who have always believed in me, and even more importantly, have helped me believe in myself. They've never told me no, but rather run, keep going, you can do this. I see my fellow choristers who make me feel joy in indescribable ways, and my dear TRANScendent, who has shown me authenticity in ways I didn't know were possible, who is, as Paul shared earlier, one of only a dozen trans and non-binary ensembles in the entire country. Groups like this are so rare that at Gala Chorus Festival last year, singers from all over the world said, "Oh my God, there's trans people in Iowa?" Seriously. TRANScendent is full of trailblazers who inspire me to use the arts to advocate for my people, who remind me that I am trans enough, and the way I show up today and every day is the most beautiful way. Who amidst horrific legislation against trans and non-binary people in Iowa have stood proudly on stage in front of audiences all over Des Moines to declare that they cannot erase us. My chorus, you are my people, you are my family, You are my past, my right now, and our future. I mean, how can you ever fully thank all the people that made you, you? We often hear in our community that we stand on the shoulders of giants, those that stood before us. Sometimes as leaders, it can be so hard to stand on our own, and we need carried by those giants. I am so lucky to have had you all to carry me this far. Thank you so much.
I told you there was good news. Kayla Bell-Consolver is a passionate advocate, a skilled organizer, and a visionary leader. Most important, Kayla is someone who shows up for her community time and time again. She shows up to organize vital resources for those in need. She shows up to build intersectional coalitions. Sometimes she shows up just to listen to someone who needs a friend. Her work reflects a deep commitment to the LGBTQ+ community, but also the broader ongoing movement for justice, equity, and healing in Iowa and beyond. In her counseling career, Kayla specializes in supporting individuals who face racial trauma, LGBTQ discrimination, systemic oppression, and chronic shame or low self-esteem. Her approach empowers people to heal deeply and live authentically. In every space she enters, Kayla is a fierce advocate for those whose voices are missing. She asks the necessary and often uncomfortable question, who's not in the room? And then she does the work to make sure they are heard, valued, and protected. Kendra Perry, the Assistant Vice President of Behavioral Health at Broadlawns Medical Center, told us that, quote, Kayla's infectious smile and positive energy are obvious to anyone she meets. But it's also her authenticity, her courage to lead, especially when it's hard, and her dedication to uplifting others that have allowed her to leave an indelible mark on the therapy field, our community, and Iowa as a whole. For her courage, leadership, deep empathy, and transformative impact, we are proud to honor Kayla. Congratulations.
Good evening, good evening. I want to name Tristan. It touched me deeply, and thank you so much for speaking to things that I didn't have words to say as well. It's a blessing to stand before you here tonight. I'd first like to thank Daniel Zeno, Max Moitz, Renee Hartman, Kendra Perry, and Janice Lane Schroeder for nominating me for this illustrious award. I also want to thank my lovely wife, Tabitha, for always supporting me and giving me a space to exist freely in my identities and to be loved while doing so. And also special shout out to Broadlawns for creating a workplace where it feels safe and easy for me to show up so proudly in my identities every single day. You know, it's not lost on me that I'm a Black lesbian receiving this award. When I received that call that I was gonna be a recipient of this award, a part of me was shocked. I mean, how could a young Black girl from Tampa, Florida, who grew up believing that being gay was wrong, now be awarded the LGBTQ Leadership Legacy Award? You see, to be lesbian in the Black community was to be a tainted trophy. To be Black in the LGBTQ community meant to feel as though your Blackness was washed away or that you were hypervisible. It didn't feel like there was always room for both of my identities to exist at the same time. I wouldn't be in your presence right now without so many in my life reminding me that these narratives were false and not mine to own. As a recipient of this award, it's my hope that more Black LGBTQ individuals remember that they are worthy of being celebrated in all of their identities. Yes, we can clap for that. And it's my call to action for our LGBTQ communities to not forget about us, the Black, Indigenous, Asian, and Latino, Latinx LGBTQ communities in our presence and in your work. To the many LGBTQ existing leaders here today, it's my hope that you embrace the legacy that you're already creating for our future queer and trans youth, even though we live in a society that politicizes and restricts their ability to do so. In closing, I want to speak to the hearts of our queer and trans inner children that may still be stuck in those places of shame and fear. Here's a special message to them. Dear, lively, glamorous, bodacious, tenacious, quirky inner children in the room. How's that for LGBTQ acronym? I want you to remember this. You have a place, even when the world tells you no. You are loved, even when our communities reject you. You are one, even when you feel like you have to choose which identity feels safer to hold more closely. You are a leader, and your mere existence creates a legacy that we get to live out loud too. I am so grateful and honored and delighted to be here as an LGBTQ legacy leader, and I am most grateful for that little queer Black girl in me that never ran so far away that I couldn't find her. Thank you.
On Zoom last week, we had a run-through just to go over the program for tonight. And Kayla, bless her heart, she asked, do you have any advice for remarks? I think she did fine. Our next honoree is Shannon Samuelson. And there she is. In her nomination, Dan Jansen from the Iowa LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce told us that, quote, she lives openly and authentically, showing others, especially younger LGBTQ individuals, that you can lead, love, and thrive while building a life grounded in purpose and community. We are honored to recognize someone whose leadership is as grounded as it is inspiring. Shannon is a dedicated professional at Wells Fargo, where she brings financial expertise and integrity to her work. But her impact stretches far beyond that company. As the former treasurer for Capital City Pride, Shannon didn't just keep track of the financial books, she rebuilt the entire platform, implementing professional standards that continue to serve the organization today. She told me earlier that she is actually the one who approved the invoice for the rainbow unicorn outside. So that alone deserves a round of applause. She brings that same excellence to her current role as treasurer of the Iowa LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, where her strategic guidance helps shape the future of inclusive business across the state. Shannon shows up with empathy, humility, and generosity, whether she's serving on nonprofit boards or mentoring the next generation. She listens deeply, gives generously, and believes in the potential of others, even in spaces where she hasn't always felt comfortable herself. Her strength has made a lasting mark on everyone who's had the privilege to work alongside her. Please join me in celebrating a truly remarkable person, Shannon Samuelson.
Okay, like they said, I'm in finance, so I'm usually in the back. I don't usually speak in front of large crowds, but we'll try this. I'll be honest, accepting the recognition has never come easily to me. I've always believed that the work we do, especially in the LGBTQ community, is about lifting others up, not standing in the spotlight ourselves. But tonight, I'm honored to accept this award because it shows that there are still those who value the importance of recognizing diversity. First, I want to thank BPC and Des Moines Magazine for their incredible acknowledgement and to the sponsors of the award. Your commitment to elevating leadership in diverse spaces is not just commendable, it's essential right now. By choosing to uplift voices in our community, you're helping shape more inclusive and courageous futures. Through the roles that led me here, I've learned something truly beautiful. When you show up for your community shows up for you. I've met people that started as collaborators that are now family, chosen family, who stood beside me through some really tough times and remind me every day why this work matters. Speaking of family, I want to thank my wife, Lindsay. I may be the one that signs up for all the roles, but she is the one that, number one, is putting up with me while I try to tackle 100 things at once, and she quietly steps in and does whatever needs to be done. I've come to realize that legacy isn't always built on big, sweeping gestures. Sometimes it's the small things, the quiet moments, the simple acts of just showing up that make the biggest difference. If just one person feels seen or supported because of something I've done, then that's enough. In a time when things can feel overwhelming, I challenge everyone to get involved. Show up, watch what happens when a community like ours comes together, and find simple joy in being with one another. That joy is real, and it's happening every day in our circle of friends, our local establishments, and the small businesses that build the Des Moines community. My current work with the Iowa LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce is focused on building that joy and connection. We're creating a network to support one another and highlight the economic impact our community has in Iowa. Sometimes we have to start small, and that's where the change begins. We've come a long way, but the road ahead is still steep. Let this moment be a reminder our stories matter, our leadership matters, and to add to Dan's visibility as education, our visibility is not a privilege, it's a right. Thank you.
Jenny Smith's nomination included a note from her longtime friend, Heather Schott from Kraus Group, who we heard from earlier. Here's what Heather wrote. For many of us, there were no clear role models to follow or trusted advisors who truly understood the unique challenges we faced. Jenny has filled that gap with unwavering support, offering personalized financial guidance without judgment. It's hard to talk about LGBTQ advocacy in Iowa without recognizing Jenny's extraordinary impact. Her leadership, vision, and tireless dedication have benefited not only countless LGBTQ Iowans, but have fundamentally shaped the future of equality across our state. Jenny's work speaks volumes, but perhaps nothing underscores her influence more than her role as chair of the One Iowa Board of Directors, a position that reflects not only her own integrity, but the community's deep trust in her leadership. Whether in boardrooms, at the Capitol, or in everyday conversations, Jenny has never wavered in her commitment to justice and inclusion. She brings clarity, purpose, and a no-nonsense approach to every room she enters, earning the respect and admiration of those around her. And through it all, she leads by example, showing up as her full, authentic self and empowering others to do the same. Beyond her public advocacy, Jenny is a devoted wife to Lindsay and a mother of their 4 children. She embodies the truth that LGBTQ families are strong, loving, and vital to the fabric of our communities. Her presence challenges outdated narratives, and her thoughtful leadership ensures that future generations grow up in a world where all families are valued and affirmed. Please join me in honoring a steadfast and compassionate leader, Jenny Smith.
All right, I'm better with it in my hand. My name is Jenny Smith. Thank you all for being here tonight. I want to say thanks to Daniel Zinnel. He and I worked together really closely for many, many years.
And I feel like we kind of grew up together in a lot of ways, and he's the reason I'm here in the nomination. So I appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you. I want to say thank you to Heather Schott. Of course, like I think we've expressed that back and forth a little bit, but she's been my oldest friend, for crying out loud, in this community, and taught me so many things, so many wonderful things. We're old. I was 19. She was way older than me. But we're both still kicking. I want to steal my giant. I want to say thank you to my giant, Sharon Valero. Sharon is my mentor. She was my guiding force. And a lot of the things that I do are just in an effort to honor her and what she started, because she worked really, really hard for us. I don't really leave my house or my office, to be quite honest, ever. It's kind of a rule, like we stay home. You know, I got 4 kids, it's busy. And when this came to light, I realized that this is a really hard time. And I have a story to perhaps share. And so I wanted to share it. The reason I'm here is to tell you, the pendulum swings. It is hard right now. It is so hard, and it's not fair, but it swings, and it swings fast. I'm going to tell you a story. I started dating my wife. It was like 2008 or 7, it was early. I got the other dates right, honey, you were fine, right? We got engaged in 2008. It was just a commitment. This wasn't real. I wasn't actually getting married, right? Like, it wasn't allowed. Well, sure as shit during the engagement, sorry. It became real. Like, we're actually getting married now, right? Like, this isn't a commitment ceremony. This is a marriage. So we were engaged in 2008. We were married in 2010. Marriage rights passed in 2009. So my life got real, right? That happened really fast. So then we go to Italy. Thank goodness. We had at least a couple of weeks on our own, and I'm pregnant by September 2010. With twins. Wasn't ready, but I'm pregnant. My twins are born. We would like a call out, so I'm going to give them their chance. Jude Smith, stand up. Abram Smith, stand up. They're not really mine, they're ours, but it's fine. When they were born, June of 2011, my wife Lindsay, stand up. She couldn't sign the birth certificate. Wasn't allowed. Things happen fast. We're dumb enough that we had another kid 17 months later. Rowan Smith, please stand up. We also need to depend on our allies. I'm a big advocate for expressing how important allies are. Without them, especially when times are hard, we will struggle more than we need to. Accept the people that aren't the same, but support. We have to do this. Additionally, we have to share who we are. If there is one thing that I learned from my giant chair, sharing your authentic self is the only way to change the hearts and minds of others. We have to be honest. We have to be ourselves, and we have to expect respect. So, with that said, the pendulum will swing. This is not forever. Do the small things that you can do to impact change. And we will all live to experience a day like those 5 years. I promise. Thank you all very much. Thank you for your time. Thanks for letting me be here. Thanks for letting me hold the mic. Appreciate it.
Weiss is a legacy leader in every sense of those words. His impact is visible not only in his work, but in the lives he continues to touch across Iowa's LGBTQ community. As a dedicated board member at One Iowa, Jeremy has helped steer the organization through some of its most critical moments. From navigating the challenges of a global pandemic and leading the hiring process for a new executive director, Jeremy's strategic vision and steady leadership have bolstered the organization's community impact and long-term sustainability. His passion for service is deeply personal. Whether mentoring LGBTQ youth, volunteering with the Iowa Homeless Youth Center, or serving on various nonprofit boards, Jeremy shows up with empathy and purpose. He's not just present, he's engaged, supportive, and intentional. His visibility isn't just symbolic, it's a reflection of his core belief that true leadership means standing beside the people you serve. One of the people he has mentored, Nicholas Stumbo, put it like this: I was fortunate to begin my career under Jeremy's mentorship. From the outset, he opened doors that not only shaped my career path, but also imparted invaluable lessons that have guided me through every stage of my professional journey. Jeremy creates spaces where people feel seen, valued, and affirmed. His service and dedication make him a shining example of what legacy leadership represents. Please join me in honoring Jeremy Weiss.
Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here, and thank you to all the sponsors for this event. Standing here today, receiving this LGBT Legacy Leader Award, I feel both humbled and deeply grateful. This honor is not just about the 6 of us receiving awards today, it's about the generations of people who made it possible for us to gather openly and proudly in spaces much like the space we're in today. When I think back about the history of our community, I think about the incredible resilience of those who came before us. People who marched, who protested, who risked jobs, families, and safety, so that I and many of us, all of us, can live more freely today. They taught us that progress is never handed over willingly. It is demanded, fought for, and earned through persistence. I've tried to carry that lesson into the work that I've done, whether it be creating spaces for homeless LGBTQ youth to feel safe, pushing for equality in the workplace, or standing with those voices who too often, go unheard. The work that I've done has always been about building a world where no one can hide who they are, where love and authenticity are not just tolerated, but celebrated. And I challenge all of us in the world, in the room today, to do more of that. All the work that I've done would not be possible without the great people who have joined me today, including friends and family and several mentors of mine, as well as the great team that we have at One Iowa, who I have the privilege to work with on the board every single day. I must say, as we honor how far we've come, we cannot ignore the challenges ahead of us today. Across this country and around the world, we see renewed attacks on our rights, attacks on trans lives, on queer youth, on the simple freedom to live with dignity. The struggles may look different today than they did decades ago, but the fight is the same, the fight to exist, to be seen, and to be equal. So my call to everyone in this room today, and for you to spread the message, is to let this award celebration not just be a celebration, but a reminder of our responsibility. Each of you in the room, including myself, have the power to continue the great work that the LGBTQ Legacy Leader Awards have done, to mentor the next generation, to speak out when silence is easier, to vote and to lift each other up, and of course to continue to support great organizations like One Iowa. Because our legacy as a community has never been about one person, it's always been about the collective courage of many. And together I believe that our stories will continue to be written and that our stories are one of justice, of pride, and of unstoppable hope. Thank you for this incredible honor, and let's keep fighting together.
Connie Ryan knows that the title ally is a verb, not a noun, and she does the work to earn it every single day. Those words came from Keenan Crow, One Iowa's Director of Policy and Advocacy, and they're so good I'm going to read them again. Connie Ryan knows that the title ally is a verb, not a noun, and she does the work to earn it every single day. For more than 2 decades, Connie has been a steadfast force for justice at the Iowa State House, serving as the lobbyist and executive director for the Interfaith Alliance of Iowa. In this role, she works to shape public policy that's rooted in equity, dignity, and human rights. She's an especially effective advocate for health equity, civil liberties, and LGBTQ rights, with an unshakable commitment to creating a more just and welcoming Iowa for all of us. Whether speaking out in committee hearings, rallying on the Capitol steps, or talking with lawmakers behind the scenes, she shows up with courage, conviction, and compassion. Her dedication to the LGBTQ community runs deep. She served on the boards of One Iowa and Iowa Safe Schools, among many others, and her advocacy extends beyond any single platform or title. She educates, she marches, she testifies, she leads. Allyship is a verb, and in every space she enters, she lifts up the voices of those most marginalized. Here's what our former CEO, Susanna DeBaca, had to say about Connie Ryan. Connie Ryan embodies the spirit of the DSM LGBTQ Legacy Leader Ally Award. Her unwavering dedication, her exceptional leadership, and her tireless advocacy have made a profound and lasting impact on LGBTQ Iowans and therefore on Iowa as a whole. For her lifelong dedication to justice, her fearless advocacy in the face of discrimination, and her deep, sustained commitment to Iowa's LGBTQ community, we are proud to honor Connie Ryan as this year's Legacy Leader Ally.
Thank you so much to everyone, to BPC, DSM Magazine, and Capital City Pride, and all of the sponsors. This is such a meaningful award to me, and I'm truly grateful and honestly humbled. Congrats to all the awardees. You are amazing people. I also want to thank my friend Daniel Sinnel for nominating me, and Keenan Crow, Maisie Stillwell, and Susanna DeBaca for writing letters of support. Thank you for your friendship and your faith in me. I have never done this work alone. Our board of directors, our small but mighty, dedicated and talented staff, our advocates, our partners, all share in the work and in this recognition. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you to my family and friends for your love and support of me and Interfaith Alliance of Iowa, especially my kids and their partners, as well as my entire extended family, biological and chosen. I know you are always in my corner, for which I am forever grateful. I have been thinking about the idea of legacy. What do we each want to leave behind? What do I want to leave behind that enhances the common good for all people? And how do I get that done? Leaving a meaningful legacy means understanding your values and remaining true to them, even when times are rough. Leaving a meaningful legacy means building relationships with the obvious partners and those not so obvious. It means leaving no stone unturned to carry out your passion. And for me, it means bending the arc, bit by bit, day by day. The extreme voices of our nation have become normalized, and grave harm is being done to too many people and to the very fabric of our nation, our democracy. The fundamentalist Christian nationalist infrastructure has an agenda to gain power, further marginalizing others in the process. Christian nationalism was the driver in all the anti-LGBTQ, anti-transgender public policy initiatives that we have seen time and again in the last few years. And those that push Christian nationalist agenda are not done, not by a long shot. The only way to change the tide and take back the power is to remain committed to the hard work, to call out the extremism every time, to be courageous, loud, and clear every time, to amplify progressive leaders and moral voices in the public square every time. We can make real change together. Let that be our legacy. Interfaith Alliance of Iowa is committed to this work, bringing people together, challenging extremism, speaking out against hate and bigotry and violence, fighting for equality and equity. I urge you to get involved, including all of you in the room who are allies. Step forward. Use your voice and your feet. Challenge extremism in real time. Stand on the right side of history every day. Thank you to every person in this room for all that you do. Please stay in the game. We need you. We need all of us. Thank you.
Thank you to all of the honorees for sharing your stories. As a reporter, my ears perked up so many times, and I wanted to grab a pen and write down some good lines. We are recording this, so you'll have an opportunity to review some of these messages online. In a few moments, we will hear again from the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus, but before we close, I would like to take another moment to thank those people who have made this evening possible. Our supporting sponsors, Krause Group and Tarot International, and our presenting sponsor, Capital City Pride. I would be remiss if I did not point out that Wes Mullins with Capital City Pride rode that unicorn over himself. He rode it himself. He helped install it. So that's the kind of service leadership that he's talking about. I also encourage you, if you are in a position to influence your companies to sponsor other events for the business record, get your own rainbow unicorn. We could use more of them. There will be time afterward to take more photos at the photo booth with or without the unicorn, you choose. But we will have some time to enjoy the night and just mingle a little bit afterwards, so stick around. While we've got you here, I do want to take a note to highlight a few upcoming DSM events. On October 9th, we will be unveiling our annual IA magazine that covers statewide stories. That's at Bank, Iowa on Jordan Creek Parkway in West Des Moines. On November 5th, we'll unveil the next issue of DSM at Wesley on Grand. And that issue will include profiles of this year's Sages over 70, who will be recognized with their own ceremony on November 11th in Ankeny at DMAC's FFA Enrichment Center. And on November 18th, we have a virtual event, our annual virtual event for Lifting the Veil, which is our annual issue on mental health. So put those on your calendar. If you are here tonight, you will be receiving emails, so don't miss it. Also, I want to encourage you, if you like the magazine on your table in front of you, you can subscribe to it. We will be happy to send you your very own copy. But for tonight, grab as many as you want, and if you want more, we know where to find them. We also pump out a steady parade of weekly newsletters you can sign up for. And we are always looking for new stories and new people to cover, so please, please reach out if you know folks who have good news to share. As Chris mentioned, we're looking for good news. Any kind of news, but good news is more fun. You can read the full stories, the full profiles about this year's honorees in the current issue. And as I mentioned, there will be more bells and whistles online. But I want to especially thank the two contributing writers who wrote the profiles in this issue. Jody Gifford is here tonight, and Abby Tauschen. Yeah, give Jody a round of applause. The other profile writer, Abby Tauschen, is not here because she is rehearsing for Bright Star at the Des Moines Community Playhouse, so support her there. Finally, I want to thank all of you for coming to support this year's honorees. This is one of our favorite events of the year. We get to highlight some really great stories in the community and lift up so many voices that have made a difference in all of our lives. It has been quite a fun night, but as we heard from several speakers, the work is not finished. These awards are milestones on a path that we are still walking. We have an opportunity to push that pendulum in the right direction, as Jenny mentioned. So let's keep going. Use these lessons, absorb these examples, and do your own good in whatever corners of your lives you're working. Let's take a little inspiration from tonight's honorees and keep pushing ahead for progress. Before the chorus sends us off with one final song that a former Legacy Leader ally, Rebecca Gruber, introduced to the chorus, I want to give the final word, at least here from the lectern, to another Legacy Leader ally named Dolly Parton. And this quote showed up just last week in the Business Record's Fearless newsletter. I will not do the accent, but you can hear it in your head. The words of Dolly Parton. If your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Once again, the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus.